everyone, my name is Shayna. I'm the Community Programs Manager with 8260C, and so my job is to oversee and facilitate our workshops program, so like this one, and then also to run our after-school program. So what is a memoir? The simplest definition is this. A memoir is a story told by a person based on their memories. A memoir is a personal account or personal telling of something that's happened. So here are some memoirs that you might have heard of. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, which is Maya Angelou's 1969 autobiography that describes the early years of her life and growing up and overcoming racism and trauma through learning love and literature. The Fire Next Time, which is one of my favorite books, is James Baldwin's book of 2 essays. Brown Girl Dreaming, which is Jacqueline Woodson's novel that discusses her childhood growing up as an African American person in the 1960s in South Carolina and in New York. And El Dafo, which is a childhood memoir presented as a graphic novel. It's the story of how Cece became deaf and how she grew into herself and her deafness. So why are memoirs important? Well, memoirs are usually based around one person's memory of an event. So this means that their perspective is amplified and readers get insight into all the ways that this one person experienced something. We usually only have our own memories and our own perspectives to go on, which is normal and totally fine. But it's also really amazing to get to know another person's perspective, and learning other people's perspectives can sometimes provide new light and new information into how we view something. Very often when people go through the same events, they experience and remember them very differently. I'm going to share a short memoir with you written by a student that works with 826 New York. You can read along on your screen. This memoir is focused on a specific place in an elevator. While we're reading, pay attention to all of the ways that the reader said that they felt in relation to this space. And think about how much information we're getting from this writer in their memoir that we would not have gotten otherwise. Bigger Than You Think by Sharoya Bracey. Being tall, I automatically feel so close to the ceiling in closed spaces like elevators. At a point in my life, I hated them. Why? Well, for one, it's an enclosed space. It is so boxed in that the height is never a height where you feel short in it. It is one of those spaces where being in there just makes you feel awkward. It only makes matters worse when rude people remind me how abnormal I am. My stepmother and I had walked into this elevator on many occasions, but this time was special. A lady walked into the elevator with us. She was maybe in her mid to late 40s or early 50s. She had a long, big coat because it was wintertime. You know, one of those older females from your building or street who was always in someone else's business and always loud. You could tell she was coming down the block because she was always talking to someone, and her inside voice is yelling. That was this woman. She walked into the elevator and awkwardly looked me up and down. I ignored it because people always look, but inside, I felt the elevator slowly closing in on me. The walls were getting smaller and shorter. The elevator was going down, and I felt trapped. I could feel her judging me. Finally, she slightly turned to me and said, "How tall are you?" "How short are you?" I thought to myself and looked at her because of her weird and slightly rude question. I replied, "I'm 5'11". The woman smiled and looked forward again, only to turn back with squinting eyes. "Do you play any sports?" "Do you not play sports?" I gave her the sweetest smile I could. "No, I do not." She, not realizing her rude question, continued to speak. "Well, you should. You shouldn't waste your height." I felt my head now touching the ceiling of the elevator as I went rushing down. My body then seemed too big for this space. My body and point of view were all different. At this point, I knew exactly how Alice felt after drinking the potion. As I was crashing down, I looked at her like she had a flying pig on her forehead, and I silenced myself only because I knew the words I could say. Saying that my height would be wasted and that would be my only ticket into college is like me saying, Well, you are short, so you don't have any specialty. You aren't anything because you aren't tall. But I smiled and once again said, no. After we left the longest elevator ride ever, she continued to talk about my height to my stepmom as I walked away from them. The saddest part about this story is that woman didn't know me from a hole in a wall. In that short, small, and awkward elevator ride, she had my entire life planned and figured out solely based off my height. I am still in the elevator, even when I'm out of it. Every time that woman talked, she brought me to a lower place and made me feel so abnormal and weird in that elevator. However, after that day, that elevator began to take me to a high place, a higher mindset, a higher feeling of myself. It was the point when I realized that I was not abnormal, but different. My being different made her want to pick me out, and I am now okay with that. Elevators used to make me feel so big and awkward, but now I feel empowered, different, above average, and tall. So pause here and discuss the following questions in your group. Set a timer for 10 minutes, which is about 2.5 minutes to discuss each question. What is the place or setting in this piece? What do we learn about the narrator through this piece? Why do you think the writer wrote about this particular experience? Can you relate to this writer's experience, feeling abnormal or different? So we're going to work on our own memoirs with a focus on place, just like this writer did. And in order to do that, we'll use some writing prompts to help us brainstorm what place we're going to write about and what memory we'll write about. So let's take about 5 to 7 minutes to brainstorm on our own using the prompting questions that are in the Google form. Remember that when brainstorming, you are writing just for yourself. No one is going to see this, so you don't have to worry about making mistakes. Just keep going, keep writing until the timer runs out. It's okay to make mistakes. All forms of writing are okay in the brainstorming stage, so that means that drawings and doodles are okay too. So here are some examples of some brainstorming methods. Free writing is when you write whatever comes to mind without stopping to make any changes. You're not stopping to correct, you're not stopping to erase, you're just going to keep going. Things can be crossed out later. Second is mind mapping. Mind mapping uses a visual web to help you keep track of connecting ideas. And then bullet points. Bullet points are short and easy ways to keep track of lots of ideas, especially if they come quickly to you. Pause here and set your 5-minute timer. Check in and see if people in your group need more time, and if so, you can add 2 more minutes to your timer. We're going to take a deeper dive into describing a memory. Choose one of the places you wrote about in the first exercise that has a strong memory associated with it. Answer the questions on the second page of your Google form. What and where is this place? What memory do you have associated with it? Describe this place without mentioning that actual memory in a paragraph. What details do you remember about it? Pay attention to the 5 senses: sight, taste, smell, sound, and touch as you describe this place. What does it look like? What does it smell or sound like? Pause here and set a timer for 10 minutes. When you're done writing, click submit at the end of the Google form and your responses will be saved for our future sessions. This won't be shared with anyone but you. It just helps me to keep track of all the materials that we're working with. If you feel comfortable right now, you can share a brief description of the memory that you want to write about with your group. At our next session, we're going to work together to start building out the structure of our stories, but feel free to keep adding to your story in the meantime after today. Thank you so much for participating in the session today, and I look forward to our next one.